Alright, so we're putting together the right arm. I already put together the left arm. Thought I'd just do a little video on the assembly of this. Number of things I've had to do. The first thing was I had to flip this servo to where the shaft was coming out this side instead of this side. And I was in the process, looks like this has gotten a little messed up here. I was in the process of putting this all back together. And it looks like the servo, or the gears, fell there. This all pushed back down in there. Should be able to put this back on there. Like that. And then we'll put these screws in there. These in first, tighten them up. There's a lot of prepping that goes into putting this arm together. It's not just about ordering the parts and hoping that it all fits. And there's a lot of sanding and other things you got to do. Like for example, on this part here, there's a bearing that sits on it. So I had to take this tool and carve the metal out a little bit and make it where it fit in there. And then on these pieces, 3D inner core, the belt rides through here, but I mean, once you 3D print it, I mean, you got to take all the infill out. There's a lot of support material that was in there I had to take out. On this particular design, the standoffs didn't fit into these holes very well. It had a little bit of a shrinkage on this material, so I had to go and take a bit and I drilled all these out so this would fit in there nicely. And then I'd take a razor blade knife, cut all the excess material off. And then what I've already done on this is I've already put the magnets in. So there's magnets that go in here on each side, and what those are for is the outer covers will, when they get put on, you'll see later they're magnetized. So I got all those prepped beforehand. And then we got the wrist piece here. The only thing I've done with this is, well, I put in this piece here that's going to be, and it's a little loose, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. These, when I countersink these, you know, I try to get that flush, but then the screw doesn't want to tighten up on there. So I may have to put a little bit of spacer in there, a little, well, yeah, probably some sort of spacer in there. I may 3D print something, stick it in there. Doesn't need to be very thick. We'll get to that when we get to it. But anyway, and then these holes here weren't large enough. There was a mistake on the CAD, so I had to drill those out. There's missing holes here, so I'll have to drill those out. So there's little things when you're going through the kind of the prototyping phase you run into and realize, oh, yeah, that'd be nice if it was there, but it's not. So now let's finish mounting the servo to the outer arm piece. So these go through, they're spacers. They should be over here somewhere. Loads and loads of trash. I have loads and loads of trash. Where's my spacer? Here they are. It's the spacers. So I need 4 of these. Design calls for 6, but I didn't mirror this piece when I ordered it, so the 2 center screws are going to stay original since they don't line up with the hole down here, but 4 of these will hold this. That's not going to be a problem at all. So put this in here. Fun, 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 fun. Put that in there. I'll just use my hand here to get it to seat. Okay, that one's on. Yes, pick the longest screwdriver possible. Do this. Alright, so now we'll put these nylon lock nuts on here, which I originally had gotten 6 out, but we're only going to do 4. Yes, I know it's the slowest way ever to do this, but it does the job. So I won't bore you. We'll just jump ahead to the next step. Alright, so now we got those tightened down. What to do next? I suppose the next thing we should do is start trying to put together this guy. So to do that, we need to take this piece and this piece, and this will need to get pressed together, kind of like this. So it slides down on there, like so. And then on top of that, we've got these pieces. These are laser cut. We got this 3D printed piece, and so what happens is this 3D printed piece will sit on here like so, and then a bearing. This bearing will sit on here like this on top. This will be pressed in. I'll have to press that in there for the most part, or get it to where it'll slip down on there. And then these pieces all will stack in here as well. As you can see, they don't really want to go on. So what I got to do is, you know, they get a little burrs and stuff in there. So I'm going to take this file, I have to file on these, and then they'll slip down over that. Here's where we're at. We'll get these filed down, slipped them on there. Was able to sand down that plastic spacer, got it slipped down over it, and then the bearing is on top. So that's where we're at with all that. Next step is we're going to insert a lot of these standoffs. I think would be the next logical step here. So these are 440 standoffs, and here's the screws for those. And we'll put those around the edge here, like so. And I didn't order enough of these, but I'm able to, I think, get away with what I've got. We'll find out here as I put these on. People do some Q&A, I guess, while I'm putting this together. Just thinking through some of the questions I've seen on my social media page. You know, one of them is, would you sell him? No. At this point in time, I do have no interest in selling Johnny. He has been taking an extraordinary amount of my time in the last few years to put him together. I certainly want to get some use out of him, some enjoyment. I am eager to get him out of the house to some events. So yeah, not really interested in that. How much does he cost? Well, it depends on how frugal you are in your parts purchasing, how much you make yourself parts wise. If you get it on part runs, if you're able to get secondhand parts, that sort of thing. I've been very fortunate in a lot of my build. I've gotten parts through either part runs or through friends that had extra parts that they sold me or gave me. So I've been extremely fortunate in that regard. I've still spent quite a bit. Don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, nothing compared to what it would cost from scratch, or frankly, in today's money. I mean, I've bought a lot of my stuff before we've had all this inflation. So you go back and some of the stuff that I've bought has doubled in price. So servos, for example, I mean, those used to be like 19 bucks, 19.99 or something like that for his head servos, and they're double that now. They're almost $40 now. It's insane how much stuff has gone up over the years. So, because yeah, so I mean, rough estimates, you could spend anywhere from, in today's money, anywhere probably from $25,000 to $50,000. I mean, that's my guess. So, and then that's you doing the labor. That's not even labor. I mean, the amount of hours. I mean, just put it this way. I've been working on these arms every day for the last week. Most of the time, just a few hours a day in the evening, but last couple of days, all day long, I've been working on this. So 8-hour days, you know, plus. So yeah, it's definitely a labor of love that you got to have to do something like this, for sure. I think I might have enough. I hope. Boy, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. I did not order enough. I knew I didn't from the last arm, but I was able to get around some of the shortcomings. I don't know if I'm going to get it on this one. It's going to be close. Let's see here. If I can get this standoff out of here. I'm just hand tightening these, and then I'll go back and I'll tighten them with the tool for sure. Just getting them on here. Let's see. I think I'm going to be short, like a couple of these, unless I have some laying around I missed. I don't know. Let's see here. If I am. I'll get some more. But I know I need some in the center. I mean, I know for like these two, and then there's two here, are going to use the shorter ones, which are these, which I have 4 of. So I have 4 of those shorter ones, but I'm still short. Oh, here we are. Ha ha ha. I thought I had some others here somewhere. I just couldn't figure out where they're at. All right, I think we're going to be good. Let's see. Might be all I need to put together the center, and then we'll add the rest of these. I think that's what I'll do next. Because I still got to figure out where those holes go for the other servos. I can drill that. I think it's these two I've got to drill. Which means I got to lay this down in there and then go drill it. See how this goes on. Let's just press this down. If everything lines up like it should. Let's see here. Yeah. Like that. Okay, see how that works? Except for I'm doing this wrong because that is not supposed to go first. Alright, this one's the one that's going to go on first. These just get pushed over these standoffs like so. Don't mind my cat in the background who's whining his tail off. All right. Like that. See, pretty nice. So the servo that doesn't have the holes in this bracket. Let's see, it's the back side. It looks like I need to drill. So it's this right here. It's supposed to have this guy, I believe. Is it this one? Looks like it. That's interesting. I've got to print this. I've got to reprint this. I don't have this printed right because these are reversed. I need to invert this and print it for this arm because this is the right arm, but I printed the left servo piece. So I'm going to have to print that where this guy is down here and this guy's up here. So I've got that reversed for that to go in there properly. Because there'll be a hole here and then there'll be a hole here, which actually is probably on this side. Yeah, see? So there's the holes. That's where I've got to drill those holes. So I can go ahead and drill the holes. I won't be able to mount this servo until I fix that minor discrepancy. It'll actually go like that, but these will be reversed. All right, so I figured it out. So this piece here and this piece here, I'm gonna have to mirror print these. I accidentally printed them the same as the other, so I need these to be opposite. So we'll get to those. Not too worried about that right now, but I did go ahead and go out, drill these two holes here. So I got those ready to go, and we'll go ahead and stick in the standoffs for those. I believe it's going to be that. And then we got standoffs for the back set here. I believe it's going to be the same height. And then the front one's going to be the shorties. And then this is going to need, I think, let's see here. So these are extras, extra. Those have in there. These two, I think, that'll be needed because that is also, so that will definitely be needed. So we get a couple of shorties in that one. Should be all right. I know, technically, probably needs the longer ones, but I mean, honestly, as long as it holds, it should be fine. I think we got it. So, oh, and then I've got to put in the these screws here. Totally forgot to do. So this has got to get turned to where this is lined up. This is almost lined up actually down there. You can see it. And it's not going to work. There we go. That's lined up now. So put these in there. Yep, there we go. Holds these parts on. Basically what's going on here is you have the servo, which is going to turn this gear. This gear is then going to turn the belt that then allows his lower arm to go up and down. So the way this is designed is you have these laser cut gears that's keyed onto this D shaft, and then out here on the edge you got these screws that go down through these laser cut gears into this main gear down here, and so that's what ties it all together to allow the servo to turn that gear. That's pretty much how that works. Pretty ingenious, really, because it's a combination of off-the-shelf parts, 3D printing, and laser cut parts, which are all very economical. Don't have to make any kind of special CNC or milled part. So it works out really well. While we're at it, let's go ahead and snug up the other ones before I forget about those. All these standoffs here. Don't have to be super tight. Just got to be snug enough they don't come off, come out. And obviously there's a cover that goes over this. 3D printing and still the left arm right now. It takes a day or more to print those covers, so be a little bit before we have those available. These will be probably almost done. The only thing I'm missing before I can actually make the arm fully operational is there's some sheathing for the cabling. This is the finger cabling, steel cable. Okay. Next step is going to be to put the belt on. Alright, so this is how the belt goes. Oh, before we do that, we got to put this little guy on. So this is a belt tensioner. Another off-the-shelf part. Goes up through here. Goes on like this. I think I'm putting that on right. Yeah. And then this has got to go on. So. This little tool here, I tell you what, I've had this tool for years. Best damn tool ever. Wish I could find another one because it just always works. Always fits these weird off the wall sizes and stuff. Alright, let's see here. This should just go on here, but it's not wanting to thread. Let's try something different. Let's flip this around. Okay, so that there, folks, is why you buy extras. Other than the fact that these parts tend to go away when you know, as far as being available. But yeah, the other one had something wrong with the screw or something wrong with the nut end that went in there. Something. Because it didn't like that at all. Didn't like the thread at all, so I just swapped it out. So you keep going. So let's see here. This is just to hold the end on, hopefully. I'll thread it on, there we go. It didn't come with a screw, by the way, to hold that on. I had to go find one. But here we are. Just needs to keep it from coming off. Okay, so then we'll take the belt. Oh, and then you need this piece. So, for this piece, we have another gear here. It goes on this hex. So I noticed that in this part of the video that the camera ran out of memory and this part didn't get recorded. So thought I would voice this over. Basically what I was trying to explain here was the parts that go to this part of the sprocket has some shims. And then if you notice, there are some copper spacers. Those copper spacers are not part of the CAD. There were some other spacers that I was supposed to order from McMaster. I neglected to do that. So instead, what I did was I went to Ace Hardware and I found some copper washers, and then I modified them and made a spacer out of them. So that way I would not need the ones that were from McMaster. So therefore I omitted the spacers and the shims that were in the CAD and replaced it with this one part as opposed to the two. So that's pretty much how I did that for my arms. So I'll route this around over here, around this guy, like that. And then somewhere this belt's got to go on the inside here. And then, oh, well, this has got to go like this. So the purpose of this tensioner is to pull this in. And it's kind of hard to do with on the tensioner now until I put the other piece on here, which I'll do in a second. But you kind of see how it lays down in there. And then the tensioner will get pushed back this way like that. Which, I mean, I guess I could go ahead and somewhat tighten that down. It's just really, well, you know what I could do though? Let's do this. I can at least get this stabilized by pushing that like up against here like it's supposed to. And then I could take and put this over on this side, I suppose. Help hold this on. Oh, but you know what? It's got to go there first. Is this goes on here like this, and then this goes on here. And I can get this pushed on there, so at least this will hold this in place. Something just fell. Come on, line up. There we go. All right, see, that helps. Helps kind of hold that kind of all in place there. So we can kind of get all this figured out. So I can go ahead and tension this now. Tension this down. I have a 9-volt battery here. Probably helps if I lift this up so it doesn't actually. So here we go. Obviously very slow compared to probably what he will be doing. But now you get the idea. Working very well. Exactly how it's supposed to work.